I really didn't want to film a podcast today, and that actually gave me an idea for what we should talk about, which is what to wear when you genuinely just don't want to get dressed in the morning, and how to have good style when when you do that. Welcome to the I Help Men Dress Better podcast. I'm Shlomo Homnick. I am a men's style coach and consultant. My goal with this podcast is to help our men with the tools to be seen and remembered through their style. And before we go any further, before we jump into the topic today, if you could click subscribe, hit the bell, like. You could wait to leave a comment until later. We can get into the topic before then, but it would really go a long way to support me if you could subscribe to the podcast and like the episode. So please go do that. Thanks. So how do you have good style on days when you wake up and you legitimately just do not want to get dressed? And I have these days. I have these days, thankfully not too regularly, but I've definitely had times when they were more regular. Just wake up, you feel kind of gross. Like, the idea of putting clothing on your body makes you viscerally uncomfortable, like ants crawling under your skin. And look in your closet and just nothing in there appeals to you. And so you just if you're like me, so if you work in an office, you put on the clothes, you go to the office. You're great because you can't show up to the office in sweatpants. That would be crazy. But if you work from home like me, then you can just grab your gym shorts, grab your sweatpants, grab your loungewear, and then you're, wearing God knows what colors, God knows what pieces of clothing, look like an absolute wreck, and that, of course, affects how you feel. So if you're sitting down to work looking like an absolute dumpster fire, then you're gonna have your workday feeling like an absolute dumpster fire. At least I do. I know that I do. When before COVID, I did not dress that casually. I did not really even have a wardrobe for that. But when COVID hit and I was at home all the time, I took it as an opportunity to start testing more interesting casual styles. And I ended up reaching a point where I looked back and I regretted it greatly because I had so much comfortable clothing, and I ended up wearing a lot of outfits that I didn't feel very good in. And so when I did wake up with these sorts of days where I didn't want to get dressed, I had what to wear, but I did not feel good in it. I did not feel good about it. I didn't feel great about myself, especially since I've built style into my identity, right? I've built being intentional with my appearance into my identity. And so when I'm letting that go to give into more of a base desire, it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. And so in order to combat that, because I knew that I would still have those days, I knew that I would have days where I woke up and I just wanted to grab the easiest thing. And I noticed that as I worked from home and as I got more comfortable, there were more days when I wanted to grab the easiest thing, even if I was feeling fine. I gravitated towards certain pieces because I could just easily pair them, easily throw them on. And so yeah, how do you manage that? Because I'm sure you have this. I'm sure you have pieces in your wardrobe that you reach for. They're just tried and true, but you don't feel great in them. So the trick is to really pay attention to those pieces that you grab You may even want to write them down. I personally don't. I have kind of a mental map of my whole wardrobe. That's just the way that I think. I actually used to mentally map other people's wardrobes. So when I'd be in school with a number of guys, and I'd have a mental idea of what they had in their closet just based on what they wore over time. And sometimes I'd be like, oh, yeah, that shirt that you wore last Thursday would look really good with the pants that you're wearing today. Like, have you ever tried that as an outfit? um, so I mentally map it, but if it's easier for you to write it down, then it might make sense to write it down. So you can look in your closet and start paying attention to the pieces that you grab. So it might be the days that are hard, but it might just be every day that you have this closet full of beautiful dress shirts, but you keep grabbing tees. You have this closet, you have all these like wonderful dress pants, but you keep just grabbing your joggers. You keep just grabbing your sweatpants. And so you're just going to pay attention to what you're reaching for. And then step 2 is to evaluate the piece. So is this piece getting in the way, right? Like, is this a problem? Is it a problem that you're not wearing your dress pants? If the answer is yes, and it's like legitimately a problem that you are not wearing your nice clothes, then you may need to actually get rid of your loungewear, or at least get rid of most of it, so that you just have 1 or 2 pieces for the end of the day, bedtime, those sorts of things. Or you can make your loungewear less accessible, so you can put it somewhere a little more challenging to get to. And maybe that's in a closed closet and your dress clothes are in an open closet. Whatever it is that works for you. If, however, you realize, like by me, I realized that I do work from home. What am I going to do? I'm going to go make a bunch of custom dress pants so that I can sit in my basement or sit in my extra room, or go to my small local office where, like, yes, people see me, but I still work from home. I can be more casual. I can be more relaxed. Like, so in that case, you have to figure out, okay, what can I get that will replace this piece and I will feel good in? So I did this with, I had this pair of like athletic-y kind of pants, very like plasticky, very polyester. And I found myself reaching for them to make certain outfits. Like, I found myself reaching for them to pair with a certain sweater. Just some days when it was easier, I would wear those, but I really didn't like them. Like, I hate seeing them on other people, and I had them for ease and around the house, but I was actually wearing them and leaving the house in them. And that felt very misaligned with me. Like, how can I look at other people and say, I really don't like when other people wear that. I think it's not becoming. I think it's, you know, not the best choice. And then I'm doing the same thing. So I actually replaced those with a pair of bright green track pants. So while they were still sweatpants, they at least had some sort of interesting function. So I would pair those in kind of bold, interesting ways. And the point was that I was making an intentionally unusual outfit, an intentionally bold outfit. And so even though I was wearing something comfortable, there was still something that felt intentional and stylish to me. And so that felt in alignment with me. Now, it doesn't anymore. And I'm actually looking to find the next step for that. So, I liked those pants. There's things I really liked about them. There's things I don't. They didn't work for me as well as I anticipated. And so I'm going to be doing the same process with those to figure out what can I replace those with, so that on the days when I, do not want to get dressed, I have something comfortable to wear that is more in alignment with my style, with who I want to be and how I want to present myself and be perceived. And yeah, I do this with all sorts of pieces. Like, I realized I realized that I was reaching for the same t-shirts over and over again, and I didn't have enough of them, right? Like, they would be the first thing I would grab once they were washed, and then they would be the first thing back in the laundry basket. Like, it would just be like, that's the main thing I'm wearing. So I was able to, look at some other pieces and decide whether or not I wanted to purge them and get rid of them. And I also had to decide, are these t-shirts something I want to be reaching for? Do they align with my style, or are they just easy? And if not, what can I buy as an alternative that will be just as easy to put on and just as comfortable and aligned with my style? And I ended up buying some polo shirts. I do still wear those t-shirts a lot. I do still really enjoy them, but they're not something I want to be grabbing every day. So I now have polo shirts as an option. And you can do this with any part of your wardrobe, and you can do this for any reason. Like the shirt I have now, I have a lot of dress shirts, and I kept having outfits that I wanted to make that I needed a slightly more casual button-down shirt for. And I did not want to get Oxford cloth with like the button-down collar. Something about that, it just doesn't really align with me. It doesn't feel in alignment with my style, even though I do have a refined archetype. There's something about that. It's just not for me. And so I wanted to find something else. And I ended up only this year, I probably should have done this a while ago, but I ended up buying these linen shirts. So I have this one in white, and then I have a medium blue and a darker blue. But I bought those because at a certain point it stacked up the reasons why I should buy them, and so I bought them. But one of the big ones was to have easy casual shirts that are comfortable in the summer and that I can make that I can dress down when I have an outfit that I want to add a button-down shirt to, but my dress shirts just don't work with it because they're just that notch too formal. It makes them look off. So now I have these shirts, and that has opened me up to a lot more outfits, and it's not any more challenging to put this on than most other shirts. So just to clarify, it's 3 steps, right? So you start to notice, what are you reaching for when you need easy? And then you evaluate, is this acceptable? Right? Like, is this completely unacceptable? In which case I need to figure out a way to not reach for it, and I need to be wearing whatever I'm supposed to be wearing, right? Let's say you have your closet full of dress pants and you keep reaching for sweatpants. How can I reach for my dress pants? How can I make the sweatpants not an option so that even when I'm not comfortable, I will still grab the dress pants and not really regret it in the long run of the day? Or if it does make sense to grab the sweatpants, so that would be step 3, then how can I replace this with a piece that I will feel good in? How can I replace this with a piece that does not compromise comfort, but also does not compromise style? I'm not certain that I have more to say on this topic, at least for now. Hopefully you enjoyed this podcast, even though I desperately did not want to make it today. Really, really have had quite the day. I know, it's crazy. It's like having amazing style didn't magically solve all my problems, but um, it has definitely improved my life in a great way. So I would still recommend it. Thank you for joining me on the I Help Men Dress Better podcast. Once again, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications. It would really go a long way to helping me. If you know anyone who would enjoy this sort of topic, who enjoys style and is interested in a more abstract and psychological approach instead of the, wear this, don't wear that sort of approach, please forward this to them. That would be great. Please share the love. And yeah, thank you for joining me. I know you could have been doing something else with your time, and I really appreciate that you took the time to sit here with me. So have a great week, and I will see you next week. Take care.